The last assignment we're going to do for this chapter has to do with curves. So if you would, we're going to begin by looking at image 9771. I'm going to adjust for basic exposure in Camera Raw. Let's check the color. That brings it a little blue. Add a little warmth back, and we'll open this in Photoshop. Now, curves is a really powerful and challenging way of adjusting images in Photoshop. You can do it as a basic adjustment, but again, for non-destructive editing, we'll be doing a curves adjustment layer. And the curves is this little grid with this little S line going across it. So to add a curves adjustment layer, you'll click the third icon over in the adjustments panel. And we can see our histogram here has the image appearing to be slightly underexposed. And so what you can do is you can go in and you can adjust your sliders here on the, or your points on the left, and make individual assignments. And generally what you do when you do a curves curves adjustment is people look for an S curve, and that doesn't mean it has to be an S curve like that, because obviously that's not what we're looking for. But if you come in and do a slight curves adjustment, you can turn it on and off. Sometimes you like what you see, sometimes you don't. If we do auto, this is what it's saying the curve should look like, because it's looking for whites and blacks. Now, if that's a little harsh for what you're wanting, you can always come in and adjust it yourself. Again, you have the same eyedroppers for white, gray, and black that you found in the levels adjustment. And a curves adjustment uses the histogram in the same 256 shades of gray that levels uses to find colors and make adjustments. Now, for both the levels and the curves sliders, you can hold the Alter option and drag to see where you're clipping your highlights and your shadows. And your highlight clipping means overexposing, underexposing. That means solid black, no detail, solid white, no detail, your lightest areas. Okay, so I'm holding my Alt Option key and dragging in, holding my Alt Option key, dragging in. And you can read more about that on page 407 in chapter 9. You need to read pages 413 through 420 to find out more information on curves. They're extremely helpful for doing things like adjusting the contrast of your image, adjusting the color and exposure, and finding tonality. And you'll learn a lot more about how to use curves in digital imaging too. When you're through watching this video, you need to go to the link that's included and read this article on curves. It gives a lot of great information along with some great reference images on the different spikes in the histogram and setting your white and black points, etc. And when you're through reading about curves, you'll need to go and read this article on how to fix tone and color with levels in Photoshop. And this one has a printable PDF that you can use with it. And again, it has a lot of great details to make it easier to understand how to use Photoshop levels. And both of these links will be available on Moodle. Now for 9D, you're going to need to open the Safe image in your Chapter 9 folder. You're going to need to open the Safe image. You are going to have to edit the image in Adobe Camera Raw. Once you have that edited, you are going to open it in Photoshop, and you are going to have to duplicate that background image and add a levels adjustment layer. And we need to be able to see the writing here and have a good exposure on the Safe knob. So add your levels adjustment layer. You are going to have to add in your midtones, highlights, and shadows adjustments. Again, play with those settings until you get a setting that gives you good blacks, nice highlights, and midtones that allows you to be able to read this area in here, or at least see the letters. And when you're satisfied with that, then you will save that as 9D, your last name, _ safe.psd. And that concludes Chapter 9 on color correction and lighting.